The family reunion was at my parents' house, and my sister Charlotte was orchestrating the annual photo like she was directing a magazine shoot. Which, given her job as a marketing coordinator at a mid-sized firm, she probably thought she was. Okay, successful people in front, Charlotte announced, positioning herself and my brother Derek center frame. Mom, Dad, you're next to us. Aunt Linda, Uncle James, you're here. And Maya. She looked at me, standing awkwardly to the side. You can squeeze in the back. Behind Uncle James is perfect. I was 28 years old. I ran a sustainable fashion brand that had just hit 8 figures in annual revenue. Last month, I'd been photographed for a major fashion magazine's feature on emerging designers reshaping the industry. The issue hadn't published yet, so I'd kept quiet about it. Partly because the interview process had made me uncomfortable with attention, partly because my family had a long history of dismissing my work. The back row. I said. Well, you're tall, Charlotte said, though I was 5'6", same as her. And honestly, Maya, this photo is going on the holiday card. We want to put our best foot forward. You know, show people the family's accomplishments. Derek laughed, adjusting his tie. He was a corporate attorney at a regional firm and he never let anyone forget it. Come on, Maya. Back row suits you. You're not exactly pulling in the big bucks with your little clothing project. It's not a project, I said quietly. It's a business. Right, Derek said dismissively. You're sustainable, whatever. Very cute. Very noble. But let's be honest. Charlotte's working with national brands, I'm arguing cases in federal court. We're the family success stories. You're still finding your footing. My mother touched my arm gently. Sweetheart, just get in the back for now. We can take another photo later with different arrangements. We never did take another photo. I stood in the back row, barely visible behind Uncle James's broad shoulders, and smiled for the camera. Charlotte reviewed the shots on her phone, nodding with satisfaction. Perfect. This really captures the family well. What she meant. This photo captured the family hierarchy. Successful people in front. Me, the struggling artist with her little clothing project, hidden in the back where I wouldn't embarrass anyone. My cousin Jennifer, who'd flown in from Portland, pulled me aside afterward. That was brutal. Why do you let them treat you like that? What's the alternative? I asked. Fight for a better spot in a photo that's supposed to be about family? Yes, Jennifer said bluntly. Or tell them the truth about what you've actually accomplished. I follow your brand. I know you just opened a flagship store in Soho. I know Nordstrom carries your line. Why do you let them think you're struggling? I tried telling them. When I landed my first major retail partnership, my father had said, "That's nice, honey. Maybe this hobby will turn into something real eventually." When I opened the Soho store, Charlotte asked if I was still doing the clothes thing, or if I'd considered getting a real job with benefits. When my revenue hit 7 figures, Derek laughed and said, "Sure, but what's your actual profit margin after costs? That's what matters." It was easier to be underestimated than to fight for recognition I'd never receive. They don't want to know, I told Jennifer. They've decided who I am in this family. Anything that contradicts that narrative just gets dismissed. Jennifer shook her head. One day they're going to feel really stupid. I didn't know how right she was. The magazine came out 3 weeks later. I was in my office in Brooklyn reviewing production schedules with my team, when my phone started buzzing incessantly. Text after text from people I'd gone to college with, former colleagues, industry contacts, even clients. Why, you're on the cover. Holy shit, Vogue. Most influential designers under 30? Congratulations. I pulled up the digital issue on my laptop. There it was. My face, full cover, sitting in my studio surrounded by fabric samples and sketches. The headline, "The New Guard, 10 Designers Reshaping Fashion's Future." My name in bold letters below, Maya Chen's Sustainable Revolution. The feature inside was 6 pages. Photos of my workspace, my flagship store, models wearing my designs. An interview where I discussed building a profitable business around ethical manufacturing and environmental responsibility. Quotes from industry leaders calling my work transformative and the future of fashion. Sales figures showing $42 million in revenue last year. Projections for $60 million this year. My business partner Samira burst into my office. Why, have you seen it? It's everywhere. WW picked it up. Business of Fashion is running commentary. People are calling it one of the most important fashion features of the year. I stared at the screen, feeling disconnected from my own face looking back at me. This is incredible, Samira continued. The website traffic is up 400%. We've gotten 12 new wholesale inquiries just this morning. Maya, this changes everything. My phone buzzed again. This time my mother. Maya, someone just sent me a magazine. Is this you on the cover? Call me immediately. Then Charlotte. Why didn't you tell us you were in Vogue? Derek. We need to talk about this magazine situation. This seems exaggerated. I turned my phone face down and looked at Samira. I need to not deal with my family right now. Understandable, she said. But Maya, you know they're going to have questions. You're on the cover of one of the most prestigious fashion magazines in the world. You can't hide this. I didn't want to hide it. I wanted them to see it, to understand what I'd built while they dismissed me as the family failure. But I also knew what was coming. The questions, the skepticism, the attempts to minimize even this. The family group chat exploded within the hour. Charlotte had posted a photo of the magazine cover with 3 question marks. My mother had called 4 times. My father left a voicemail saying we needed to discuss this magazine article and what's accurate versus what's editorial embellishment. Jennifer texted privately, "Oh my God. Oh my God. The irony of them putting you in the back of that photo and now you're literally on Vogue. I'm dying. Please tell me you're going to bring this up." I wasn't planning to bring it up. I was planning to let them figure it out themselves. That evening I finally called my mother back. "Maya, we've been trying to reach you all day." Her voice was strained with excitement and confusion. "Sweetheart, there's a magazine with your face on the cover. Your Aunt Linda saw it at the grocery store and bought 3 copies. Is this real?" "It's real, Mom. But, that's one of the biggest fashion magazines in the world. And they're calling you influential? They're saying your company makes $42 million. She said the number like it was incomprehensible. "Maya, is that true?" "Yes." Silence. "Then, why didn't you tell us?" "I tried to tell you. Multiple times. You called it my little clothing project. Derek said I was still finding my footing. You put me in the back row of the family photo because I wasn't successful enough to stand in front." More silence. We didn't mean it like that. We just didn't realize the scope of what you were doing." "Because you never asked," I said quietly. "You decided what my business was without ever actually looking at it." My mother's voice got defensive. "You're being unfair. You work from a studio in Brooklyn, you don't talk about money. How were we supposed to know you were running a $40 million company? I told you about the Nordstrom partnership. I told you about opening the Soho store. I invited you to the opening. You said you were too busy. I told you I hired 30 employees. Every time I tried to share what I was building, someone in this family found a way to diminish it." "Well," my mother said, her tone shifting to hurt, "I suppose now you're too important for family photos anyway." I hung up before I said something I'd regret. The media attention intensified over the next week. Business publications ran features on my company's growth. Fashion blogs analyzed my designs. NPR interviewed me about sustainable manufacturing. My Instagram followers jumped from 15,000 to 200,000. And my family group chat became increasingly surreal. Charlotte posted, "So proud of my sister Maya. Always knew she'd do amazing things. #sisterlove #fashion icon." Derek shared the Vogue cover on his LinkedIn with the caption, "Congratulations to my incredibly talented sister on this well-deserved recognition. Family first." My father posted on Facebook, "Bursting with pride for our daughter Maya Chin, featured in Vogue magazine for her groundbreaking work in fashion." Jennifer texted me, "Are they serious right now? Charlotte literally put you in the back row 3 weeks ago." The cognitive dissonance was staggering. The same people who'd positioned me behind other family members because I wasn't successful enough were now claiming credit for my success, posting about how they'd always believed in me. My parents called wanting to throw a celebration dinner. Charlotte suggested we take a new family photo, now that we know what a big deal you are. Derek asked if I needed legal counsel for my business contracts, suddenly very interested in the details of my company structure. I declined everything politely. I had a business to run, new partnerships to manage, a team depending on me to handle this sudden spotlight professionally. What I didn't expect was the event invitation that arrived 2 weeks later. My parents were hosting a family gathering to celebrate Maya's achievements. The invitation went out to everyone, all the relatives who'd been at the reunion plus extended family I rarely saw plus my parents' friend group. Jennifer called immediately. "Are you going to this thing? Because it feels like they're trying to bask in your reflected glory after years of treating you like the family disappointment." "I don't know," I admitted. "Here's what I know," Jennifer said. "If you go, bring copies of that family reunion photo. The one where they put you in the back row. Let people see the contrast." I almost didn't go to the celebration. But Samira convinced me it was important to face my family directly, to set boundaries about how they treated me going forward. I arrived at my parents' house to find it decorated like a magazine launch party. Blown-up images from the Vogue feature covered the walls. A table displayed the magazine cover in a frame. My mother had apparently gone to 3 different stores to buy every copy they had. The guests treated me like a celebrity, asking for photos, congratulating me, telling stories about always knowing Maya was special. My parents beamed, playing the role of proud parents who'd supported my dreams from the beginning. Charlotte approached me with champagne, her smile bright. "Maya, I'm so glad you came. Isn't this amazing? Mom and Dad really pulled out all the stops." "It's something," I said neutrally. "I've been telling everyone about your success. About how we always knew you'd make it big." Charlotte leaned in conspiratorially. "Between us, this is incredible for the family image. Having you on the cover of Vogue? That's the kind of prestige money can't buy." There was the real reason for the celebration. Not pride in my work, but pride in what my success did for their social standing. Derek appeared with our parents. My father raised his glass. "Everyone, can I have your attention? I want to say a few words about my daughter Maya." The room quieted. I stood there, feeling trapped as my father launched into a speech about how he and my mother had always encouraged my creativity, always believed in my vision, always supported my unconventional career path. It was revisionist history, every word of it. When he finished, people applauded. My mother hugged me, tears in her eyes. "We're so proud of you, sweetheart. We always have been." Jennifer appeared at my elbow, her expression dangerous. "Say something. You have to say something." I looked around the room. All these people celebrating me now, 3 weeks after literally positioning me in the back row of a family photo because I wasn't successful enough to stand in front. I took a breath. "Thank you all for coming. I want to say something if that's okay." My father beamed. "Of course. Everyone wants to hear from the woman of the hour." I pulled out my phone and opened the photo from the reunion. The one Charlotte had posted in the family group chat. "This is the family photo we took 3 weeks ago. Right here at this house." Charlotte arranged everyone by success level, her words. Successful people in front. And me. I turned the phone so people could see. I'm in the back row. Behind Uncle James. Barely visible. The room went silent. Charlotte's face drained of color. When Charlotte positioned everyone, she said this photo needed to put our best foot forward and show the family's accomplishments. Derek said the back row suited me because I was still finding my footing with my little clothing project. My parents agreed this arrangement captured the family well. My mother started, "Paya, that's not." 3 weeks, I continued. 3 weeks ago, I wasn't successful enough to stand in the front of a family photo. Today you're throwing a party to celebrate my success and claiming you always believed in me. But the truth is, you didn't believe in me until Vogue told you to. My father's expression hardened. "That's not fair. We've always supported you. You called my business a hobby. You asked when I'd get a real job. You put me in the back of the family photo because I was an embarrassment." I looked around the room. "I don't need this celebration. I needed you to see my worth before a magazine cover told you it was there. I needed you to ask about my work instead of dismissing it. I needed you to value me for who I am, not for how I make the family look." Charlotte found her voice defensive and sharp. "This is incredibly ungrateful. We're trying to celebrate you." "You're trying to celebrate yourselves," I corrected. "You're trying to claim credit for success you actively discouraged. Charlotte, you literally told me sustainable fashion was cute and noble, but not a real career. Derek, you mocked my business at every family gathering. And Mom, Dad, you couldn't even be bothered to come to my store opening. Jennifer started clapping. Slowly, deliberately. A few other cousins joined her. My mother's eyes filled with tears. How can you say these things? After everything we've done for you. What have you done for me? I asked quietly. You gave me a childhood, yes. But you didn't give me support for my actual dreams. You gave me criticism disguised as concern. You gave me a spot in the back row. I set my champagne glass down on the nearest table. I'm grateful for the family I was born into. But I've built my own family now. My team, my friends, the people who believed in me when I was nobody's cover story. Those are the people I'm celebrating with. I walked toward the door. Jennifer followed me immediately. A few cousins did too. People who'd watched me be dismissed for years and understood exactly what I was saying. My father called after me. Paya, don't be dramatic. Come back and let's talk about this reasonably. I turned back one last time. The next time you arrange a family photo, you can put me wherever you want. Because I won't be in it. The fallout was immediate and messy. My parents called it an overreaction. Charlotte posted a vague social media message about family supporting family through disagreements. Derek sent a long email about how I was letting fame go to my head and burning bridges over a simple photograph. But the cousins who'd left with me? They understood. Jennifer posted the reunion photo side by side with my Vogue cover with the caption, "Back row to front page." Maya Chin didn't change. Your ability to see her did. It went viral in our extended family network. Suddenly, everyone was talking about how I'd been treated, how my success had been dismissed, how the celebration had been more about my parents' pride than my actual achievements. My business continued thriving. The Vogue feature opened doors to partnerships I'd only dreamed about. I hired more staff, expanded production, opened a second store. I built something real and lasting, exactly like I'd always planned. My family eventually reached out with apologies. Real ones, or at least closer to real than I'd gotten before. My mother admitted they'd failed to recognize the magnitude of what I was building. My father said they should have asked more questions. Charlotte confessed she'd been threatened by my unconventional success. I accepted their apologies. I even agreed to occasional family dinners, carefully structured with boundaries. But I never stood for another family photo arranged by success level. I never let them claim credit for supporting dreams they'd actively discouraged. And I never forgot the lesson of that reunion photo. Some people only value you once the world tells them you're valuable. The people worth keeping in your life. They see your worth long before it's on a magazine cover. They put you in the front row even when you're still building, still struggling, still becoming. Everyone else can stay in the back where they positioned you when you needed them most.